What's up, YouTube and fellow Guardians? Una here to bring you another video, and today we are going to talk about the arena. And I wanted to craft this video for those that are kind of newer, maybe have been playing for a while, but I wanted to talk first and foremost about the arena importance. Our guild leader asked me to talk about this. I created one on the Galactic War, and I guess it kind of helps some framing. So first and foremost, what you need to understand is that arena, in my opinion, I'll explain the logic behind it, but it is the absolute most important thing where you need to be placing. And a lot of that has to do with the fact of these prizes here. Now, if some other place were to start introducing these crystals, I could potentially change, the importance. But the reason why arena is the most important is because of these crystals, and you really need to be placing, in my opinion, in the top. The top 200 is going to get you at least 100 crystals a day. That's 2 refreshes with your dailies that you do. But really, I would really stress aim for the top 10 at a minimum. I would be happy with top 20. That's fine. I tend to place top 1 through 5. It just depends on the day. There are times where I don't make it into the top 5. But the reason why you're selecting those, okay, are these crystals. And let's talk about each of the different areas that you can compete in, really. And one is Galactic War. I went over that in the last video and explained how the character development there is important. But really, what is the end of that character development in Galactic War? Okay, it's to make you do raids, and it's to make you do arena. Okay, if you do better in raids, okay, what is the end of raids? Okay, you get rewards. Okay, that's crystals, gear, and what do you do with those crystals and gear? You put it back into your characters. Okay, and with all of this gear, amassing characters, what is the point of having them? It's to get better gear, but what does better gear allow you to do? It allows you to get more stuff. And at the end of the day, the most important stuff you can get are these crystals. Because with the crystals, you can do gear refreshes, and you can farm characters. So the faster you're able to farm characters and gear them, the more rewards you're going to get, the better you're going to do. So therefore, that makes arena the most important thing for you to focus on. So a lot of times when new players get questions, what do I focus on? Should I gear 9 Ray or should I gear 10 Orlando? You can't answer that question, right? You have to start with your goals of what am I trying to do? I'm trying to be better at this game, get more stuff. And that all is fueled from arena and having the crystals to do more refreshes to get gear, and the better characters that you have, and you have geared, is going to make you do better in raids and Galactic War. But if you aren't getting those crystals, everything's going to slow down. So that's why I say arena is the most important. We did get ships, but I'm in my opinion, I'm just going to say there's no end to ships right now. Okay, when you look at the rewards to ships, the problem is right now is that 800 versus 1800, you get really good rewards for not focusing on this at all. And what do you do? What do you get with this? Okay, so you can reinvest into the fleet shop, or you can reinvest into ships. And ships in themselves have no end. They don't help you gear your characters. The only thing that they can do is help you move towards those ship challenges that can help you get the Zeta mats, which allow you to get the arena crystals. So right now, ships is more of a playground. It's got potential if we see raids and stuff like that, but the reality is all of this is to fuel your characters, your gear. So ships is actually probably one of the least important, given the fact that if you do horrible in ships, you're still getting really good rewards. When you come here to arena and you look at the prizes, quickly out of the top 10, you get 250 to 500, which is huge, but then it very quickly in the top 200 you get 75, it falls off. Right, so arena, if you don't focus on arena, you're going to get really bad rewards. So that's just one of the many reasons why arena has to be the #1 focus in terms of where you put your resources. And that is what's going to answer your question of should you gear 9 Ray or gear 10 Lando. The question is what's on your arena team, what's helping you to get higher rewards in arena. After that, it's what's helping you get Galactic War or helping you do better in raids. And then, least important in my opinion is ships, because you're going to get good rewards no matter what. You can get these from Galactic War once you have the units up and going that are fueling what you need for crystals and stuff like that. This is just a playground right now because they haven't developed the end in terms of like a ship's raid or anything like that. So that is why you need to be focusing on arena. Everything you do should go towards arena until you have your solid arena team, and only then can you focus on Galactic War, can you focus on your Cantina farming and your ships. My opinion, but in terms of resource management, that is where you get the biggest bang for your buck and need to with Arena, as opposed to getting lots of rewards for still doing Galactic War, for still doing ships. You're always going to get those, but you really need to be competitive to get Arena, which is why I say that's number one. Okay, so let's talk about the first tip. What am I in right now? I'm in 10th, okay? So first and foremost, as I'm going to say, is how you pick your battles, okay? So if you do this refresh right here, I've got Firestorm. I think the highest you can see is 6 from 10, but you'll see I've got 7 and 9. If you keep hitting refresh, you'll see now I get 8. I might not want to go against Murtok just because he's got a really tanky team, and if I look at 7, I know I can beat Drago quite easily. The double tank is not a problem for droids. So when I say pick your battles, first and foremost, you usually can get, when you're in the top 20, you generally get about 5 up, so you can see 5 places above you, and then when you get into 10th, you can start seeing 4 up. It really just depends. I don't know the exact formula if it's a percentage. When you're in the 200s, you could see a lot more than 5. But the reality is that you're going to have a range of what you can see up to. Don't feel when I say pick your battles, let's see, here's 7 is my top pick, that you have to go with the farthest you can reach. It's what you want, right? Like, I can beat Firestorm here. I don't want to because he's Team Skunk, and I only go against him if I have to. So I would rather go against Drago just because he's not in my guild. But hit refresh until you get to those units that you want. Another tip is like I said, I really focus on top 10, but if you can get top 50, that's definitely awesome. Because also if you get in the top 50, you can click this ranks button. Okay, and so I was in 10th, which means that I will be able to see the top 4 above me. And what I can do is start to look at this and predict ahead where I need to place. Okay, so if let's say I couldn't beat 6 or 7, and I had to go 8, and I can only see 4 up. Okay, so from 8th, I could see 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, that's a problem, right? Because I can't beat Rexley with droids. I can't beat a Rex lead with droids. It's just not in my cards. I'd have to switch out my arena team to someone else. So either I'd want to go 1 above to Asina or 1 below to Favorable, right? So by taking Murtok, okay, and looking ahead, you'll see there's no advantage to the stretch that I'd have to go 5 anyways. So I'd want to push 1 up here to Drago, where you can see 4 up. 1, 2, 3, 4. Asina, I can easily take an Old Ben team. Okay, Old Bens are very, very easy for droids. So that's why I say when you pick your battles, definitely get into the top 50 and use this refresh and get an idea for how far up you can jump, and start planning ahead, kind of like a chess match where you're looking 3 or 4 moves ahead of, okay, if I take this position and I look 3 or 4 up or 5 up, whatever the max distances you can see, who's after that? Can I take that person? And that's going to help you, okay? Because you only get 5 fights a day, okay? And when I say pick your battles, a good way for you to know how you're doing is to measure your efficiency, okay? This isn't 100% accurate. There's people that only do 1 or 2 battles a day, but if you're a guy that's doing 5 battles a day, you can actually calculate your efficiency in Arena. But let me show you how you do that. So if you go to your ID, so here's Unit Retnag, I see I have 1,564 Galactic War battles won. Okay, I know for a fact I've lost 4 total. Okay, but there's 12 nodes in Galactic War. So take your Galactic War total, which is for me is 1564. And divide that by 12, okay? And that's where you get I have 130 here. So I've been playing this game for 131 days, right? Because 131 times 12 is roughly what my Galactic War battles won is. Now, if you stopped Galactic War, or if you're having a really hard time, it won't be 100% accurate, but for those that generally finish every day like me, and if you're not finishing Galactic War, go check out my Galactic War video. I promise you it'll help to at least understand those mechanics. But this will help you understand how long you've been playing. And if you bought, obviously you can go back to your purchase records, but this will tell you how long you've been playing. So I've been playing for 131 days at this point in time. Okay? So for 131 days, I've won 514 battles here at the top, right? So if I do 514 divided by, what did I say it was, 131? 131, I get 3.92. Okay, and I think, well, that's pretty good. I actually thought it was going to be about 3.7. But that means, on average, I win about 4 battles a day. Okay, and there could be days where you don't use all 5. I'd recommend that you do. Even if you're in the top 5, what I'll do is I'll battle down if I don't want to attack, like my guildmates above me. Because what happens is you get achievements, like you can get Vader shards and stuff like that for more battles won. So I definitely recommend going all 5 battles and winning as much as you can. But I've got a 3.92 efficiency, okay, which is pretty good, but that'll also give you an idea. You don't win every day, but that tells you that you're being pretty efficient. And I'd recommend that you stay at 3.7 and above if you're using all 5 days, because you're going to get attacked, etc., etc. Let's take a look at another person. Like I know, for example, where is he? Like this Gallant guy. So he's been playing for about the same number of days as me, as 1570. Okay, and 1570 divided by 12 is 131, basically. Okay, so if we take 727 divided by 131, he's got a 5.54 efficiency. No one gets more than 5 battles a day for free, right? So that means he's buying in, where after your 5 battles, you can buy another 5 battles for crystals. Now, we'll never know how many refreshes he's done, and we won't be able to calculate his battle efficiency because he's bought back in. My only word of warning is when you buy back in, just make sure it makes sense. I wouldn't buy back in unless you're in a top 1 through 5 positioning, because it just... anything else, you're just about breaking even, and I don't think the arena tokens are worth it. So I would just consider letting yourself fall down to where opponents can't beat you anymore, and then work your way up each day based on your power levels and your arena, because it might be you have an arena where people can just pick on droids, and maybe the top 5 can't pick on droids, so maybe I don't fall as much, and maybe in 5 through 20 a lot of people do pick on droids, so Gallant just falls more. I don't know what it is, but just be careful when buying back in, because I don't think arena tokens are a reason enough. I think you really need to make sure that you're making more crystal, only if you're going into the top 10, right? So if you're over here and you're in 100 and you're trying to get up to 21, you're only getting 25 more arena tokens. That is not worth the 50 crystals, where you might even fail, especially if you're at a 2.7, like where you're losing half of your battles, or not even using those battles for that matter. It's still, those crystals are gone. So it's really, really not efficient to refresh battles if you have a low battle win efficiency. So first and foremost, pick your battles, know how high you can jump, because if you start losing those battles and you're not gonna climb, you're gonna have a low battle efficiency and you're gonna be wasting crystals. Okay, so that is tip 1. Is one, know that you can refresh and pick your battles. Okay, and know who you should go against here. In terms of these. Now, in terms of timing, tip 2 is only fight 1 hour before your payout time. Okay, so my payout time is in 7 hours and 57 minutes, and you can see I've got all 5 battles here. I will not attack until 1 hour before that payout time. And the reason is when I click battle, if I click battle and I click start now, okay, that starts, and as soon as I hit battle, that starts the 10-minute countdown. Okay, so if I go against Firestorm, if I take 1 minute to beat him, or I take 5 minutes to beat him, it doesn't matter. There is a 10-minute countdown before I can battle again. Okay, so since you get 5 battles a day, if you're running and you're charging, and as soon as you're done with the previous battles, that means you can fit in 50 minutes all 5 battles. So that's why I say in the last hour, that's when you want to start attacking. Okay, there's some logic out there about well, if I attack early this guy, then the other guy can't take me down. No, just go down as far as you will fall. Because if the problem is if people are beating you, that's because you're not putting enough focus into arena. You need to keep building up your team until your team can't be beaten, or pick a team that can't be beaten and focus on that, and use those crystals instead of refreshing an arena to jump higher. Use those crystals to get the gear that you need to get better arena teams, okay? So fight the 1 hour before, start 1 hour in advance, so that way you'll use all 5 battles, and you want to finish exactly basically when that prize time finishes. So let's say you're a top 50 placer, or top 100 or top 100. Start the hour before, and when there's about 6 or 7 minutes left before your payout time, start that last battle, and don't finish it right away. Wait until there's maybe 20 seconds left in that match. Make sure it's not a character that revives like HK, and then finish that battle right before your payout time to guarantee you get that highest payout. Because what happens is when you're in a battle, no one can take your position, and no one can take the position of the person that you're attacking. So by having the position you want locked and unlocking it right before payout, you guarantee the spot that you need. Okay, which is fine just to take, the last second, the 50 through 250. When it gets to 20, some people might get a little bit more competitive, but definitely 1 through 5, and to an extent 6 through 10, you can consider what I'm going to call payout locks. So let's say it's 10 minutes till my payout time. What I'm going to do is maybe 11 minutes to 11:50, 12 minutes, 10:50, anywhere around there. What you'll do is, let's say I'm going to fight for first place, is I'm going to go ahead and engage in that battle. Okay, so I'll engage. Let's say I was going for Firestorm's position. I'll engage in that battle. And what happens is, as soon as I'm about to win, I have the last character down to a little bit of health, I'll just sit there and let the timer run out until like 20 seconds left. I'll finish that character, and then as soon as that character is over with, I immediately hit instead of it saying battle here, there'll be like the countdown. It'll say refresh for 50 crystals. Hit that refresh and attack someone else immediately, because then what that does is you'll have about 5 minutes until payout at that point, because I used the first 5, from minute 10 to minute 5, I was in that battle, and then from minute 5 to basically until right before payout, I'll have that second battle locked. That'll pretty much guarantee me that that's the position that I'm in, and it's less likely that I'll be sniped out of that position. Okay, so and I only do that if I get to top positions 1 through 4. 5 you can lock, but then it's 50 arena tokens, and it's just not worth it in my opinion. You do what you guys think is right, but I would recommend definitely locking places 1 through 4 with 10 minutes left, as my third tip. So tip 1 was pick your battles, know how to do the refreshes, make sure you're being efficient with your battles and your crystals and such. If you have to use crystals, I don't recommend it. Tip number 2 was only fight 1 hour before your payout, and that has to do with that 10-minute cooldown. It doesn't matter if you finish that fight in 1 minute or 5 minutes. From the time you hit battle, it's going to be 10 minutes, so you might as well only start to move right before your payout time. And tip 3 is lock. If you were in the top 5, I'd recommend 1 through 4, but it's totally up to you, because then that pretty much guarantees you that position. So a good example that I kind of wanted to show you guys real quick is, this is Discord. This is how our guild chats. But what happens is, in my guild, you might have seen on that screen, there's a couple of Team Skunk members. And what happens is we started kind of like these chats where basically right before, let me see if I can get our most... Okay, so like for example, here's us coordinating the final attacks and how we lock, right? Because you don't want to be fighting against each other. What happened was, before Asina came into our guild, we'd be fighting each other, jockeying each other for 5th through 10th. Sometimes we get into the 1 through 5. As soon as we joined up together, we're placing 1 through 5 every day, because we're not fighting each other. Okay, so top mistakes. Okay, is what happens is, sometimes, let's say you're in 5th and 6th place attacks you, or 7th place attacks you, and you move down. Some people will be like hawk their arena. They're not following that don't attack unless it's 1 hour before. Don't ever do this, because what happens is, when you retribution attack and take it back, well, you already know they can beat you. They're just going to attack you and beat you again, and you're both wasting your battles. And particularly, let's say I'm a droids user like that Gallant guy. He likes to attack me in an arena, and it drives me nuts, because what happens is, if he's 5 below me and he attacks, all that does is switch the 2 droid users. Anyone who's going to attack droids and can beat droids, he's going to go through the bottom one and then go through the top one, so we both suffer. So by having, attacking your own style team, or attacking, like a team composition that's the same as yours, it creates a ladder weakness, right? People will jump up because they see the droid user here, then exactly 5 later, they're going to see the next droid user. So just be careful about retribution attacks. Be careful about, attacking the same team composition, because that creates that weakness of people being able to jump up through you guys. But to the point of retribution attacking, as Asina and I, we used to battle each other here. What I'd recommend is, even if they're not in your guild, if they're in a notable guild, and you know that they use Line, or you know that they use Discord, definitely check out if you can reach out to them. If they're at your payout time, it works so much better when you guys coordinate. Hey, I'm going after 2nd, you take 1st today. Or hey, I can't take 2nd, I'll take 3rd, you take 1st. Or sometimes, Asina here, he can take, we talked about Rex earlier. He can take out Rex like nobody's business. I can't touch him. So there's been times where he's like, hey, do you want me to take Rex, and then you take 1st, So it definitely works out that we switch with each other in terms of, hey, when should we, move move, when should we not move. But you can see an example of it here where Cena says, hey, I can't C5, I gotta go 6. Look at it, Hal's number 2. Go to him if you want, and then I'm going to move on Murtok, right? So we're coordinating people who aren't at our payout when to attack. And for example, Hal's number 2, and he's at our payout time. I don't know how to reach out to him. If I could, I would, and we coordinate, when to attack, because it makes things a lot easier. But as soon as Asina and Wildcard came into my guild and we start coordinating, hey, let's not fight each other, let's work together to move up, it definitely helped out. So top mistakes, don't retribution attack. Instead, try and reach out to them and see if you can coordinate, because it really, really helps out. There's no point in making enemies in Arena. Any team can beat any team, honestly. Or any team can be beaten, I should say. So don't try and make enemies where you don't need them. Because remember, this game is not... While you're fighting the computer, there's people that control what happens, right? So if you retribution attack, you're potentially inciting a fight with that person. You're potentially playing with another person's emotions in a sense. So you're not always fighting the computer. It doesn't make sense to start wars where you don't need them. So I'm going to recommend don't retribution attack. Try and work around them first. Try and reach out to them. Try and communicate with them before trying to stir up these dominance games or anything like that. Because a bloody arena doesn't help anyone. People working together to get better payouts and build stronger, like that it is so much better than fighting each other. Tip number 2, don't feel like you're stuck with one team. Okay, so for example, if it's possible, I'm too dumb to figure it out. I can't beat this guy with my team with the usual B2, JE, and the droid trio. Okay, I just can't do it. That Baze Malbus pre-taunt, it is so reliant on that triggering B2 before I go. But once I start playing around, where instead I bring in Qui-Gon Jinn and I take out JE, which is crazy. Who runs a droid squad without JE? But as soon as I brought in Qui-Gon Jinn or Geonosis Soldier, and took out B2 and stuff like that, it actually changed the way that my droids played against this team. And it's not consistent by any means. Don't get me wrong. This guy, he's a spender. He knows how to rock these rebels, and there's nothing I can do about it. But I could beat him. I used Qui-Gon Jinn, I used Geonosis Soldier, and I used my droid trio to take him down because it started working around this Baze Malbus problem. And the B2 thing, it worked. It's just really inconsistent. But tip number 2 is don't get too stuck with your team. After all that playing, I realized, Qui-Gon Jinn, he was really what he was just a fast dispeller. What I did is I took my mods off my EP and I just put them on B2, and I could actually make B2 go first. Which would dispel right away, which helps out with that, which helps out with, whatchamacallem, the Shore Trooper? Yeah, the Shore Trooper. So it's not that, you could switch your team up, but also I think when you switch your team up, that helps you realize what is really the role of each character and stuff like that. Particularly, when you're starting out, you don't really have a choice. You're stuck with those 5 members. But guess what? I don't need to use B2, right? I can come in here and I can use, oh gosh. You know what? I don't mean to sound racist, but I'm sorry. All these Jawa look the same to me. But you could bring in Nebbit, right, for that triple shot. And let's say I still can't get it done with Nebbit, or if I'm still not having the jammage. And something that's interesting is you can actually try bringing in Jawa Scavenger, right? Those AoEs will drop those bombs. You can then blow them up with Jawa Scavenger. Play around with your team with what works. But just because, the meta says that you have to use, this guy and this guy, it doesn't mean you're going to win. Like I've lost with that team, and I've won with Nebbit, or I've won with Jawa Scavenger, and I've won with actually bringing in a Tebow lead before against teams that are just crazy, such as the Rex teams. I can't beat Rex with droids, and if that's the team I need to take for 5th, and Asina or Wild aren't there, I will try the Tebow team to try and take that 5th position, and it's worked. But just make sure you save at least one battle afterwards to flip it back to your strongest team in Arena, because otherwise you'll fall down a lot. So tip number 2 is don't feel you have to stick with that one team. I see that all the time where people will post in our guild chat like, oh, I can't beat this team. And it's like, you have the units to beat them. Switch them in and go after them then. Obviously it's, it could be a mod balancing game and stuff like that, but just be aware that you could go outside your arena team, particularly as you get more evolved and you have the players at the levels you need to, that you can try switching around and potentially take some positions that you wouldn't normally be able to. Tip number 3, I'm going to say this, by far I see this question the most and problem the most, is I'm going to say don't always necessarily just chase the meta, right? So let's where's our man Lando, and let's go Estihan, and then JKA for example might be the last position. It just depends. I've seen Base Malbus, there's a couple different variations, but people know that this is currently the team that does the most damage, right? But the problem is okay, so I have mine 7-star, but they're like gear 8, okay, so I have mine 7-star, but they're like gear 8, gear 9, they're not arena ready. They're like gear 8, gear 9, they're not arena ready, so I couldn't possibly use them. So at the same time, the meta tends to shift every 2 months, maybe every month, every 3 months. It just depends on how strong that one is. This Rebel one seems really strong, but it shifts. So if everyone else already has, like this guy, let's go back to our man, Alrato, he's just got a beastly Rebel squad. You're not going to beat him. If Rebels have been the meta for a month and you're trying to switch just now and you get your guys to G8, you've then neglected your current arena team while focusing on this new team. So your current arena team is going to fall, and your new team is not going to be able to compete. They're not going to be able to keep up. So just be careful. I'm going to say mistake number 3 is just chasing the meta, is always switching out to that new team. You want one team max that's going to perform well. What you need to do is start kind of predicting the meta, see where things are going to go, and try and build what I do is I build counters to it or go with it. But you can't necessarily, after particularly the meta's been there for a month or 2 months, just switch to it, because you're going to fall behind on your current arena team. You're going to be inferior to those that already are on top of the meta, and you're just going to lose crystals as a result of it. So I know Wildcard did a really good example of that, where he actually is meta. I like how he hasn't played, and I want to say it's been, gosh, I want to say it's like 4 days, and he's still in 17th. He's got really good mods and a good team. But he wanted this team, but knew he couldn't switch to it right away. So what he did is he actually used his current characters, such as Phasma, and he brought in a Lando at one time. He brought in Estihan. He worked on one unit at a time with like a Phasma lead that's like a universal lead, and slowly brought in these characters so he didn't lose his arena placement. But while building up towards the eventual meta that he wanted, is that's just a good pivot. Don't try and just drop everything and go to it. You need to preserve your arena ranking. You need to preserve your arena income, because that's, as we just talked about, that's what fuels your whole game. That's what fuels the characters, the gear, and that is currently the end game of this. Ships just aren't there yet. Galactic War provide the credits to build up those characters, but that gear, those crystal refreshes, that's really what you're building towards, right? And same thing, and that's what you use to get all the other stuff in terms of better Galactic War rewards, better raid rewards. So that all fuels the gear, and that is just the end game of this. So definitely focus on that. Don't chase the meta, chase the rewards, because that's what's really going to get you to that next level, not being on the cool hip in crowd. Okay, the meta is going to have an advantage typically, but there's typically a weakness too. And it's just something to consider. I'm not saying you can't go with the meta. I'm just saying don't chase it. If it's already been out there for a month or 2. So hopefully these tips worked out for you guys. I definitely didn't want to build how to fight each one of these teams arena tips. I just wanted to talk kind of like what are the mechanics behind the games? How do players react to this game? I wanted to take that and bring that into this video more so than just say, hey, here's how you fight rebels. So hopefully that's going to create this video that's going to be useful to you guys for a while about understanding arena, why it's important, and also understanding a little bit about what you can do when you have people picking on you in arena, or how to better refresh or calculate your efficiency. So good luck with your farming, guys. I hope you do awesome in arena. It's super duper important. And if you have questions, hopefully now, rather than just saying, should I G9 this character or that character, you can start to see, well, hey, this character is useful in Arena and Galactic War, as opposed to just Galactic War. Well, naturally, you should go more towards that Arena character, or the character that, helps out in AAT as well as Arena as well as a Galactic War, Use that as your guide, more so than just saying, hey, I don't know which character is better. Think about what ends you need. Where do you need to improve? Is it Arena? Is it Galactic War? Etc., etc. And use that to make your decisions, more so than just saying, hey, I don't know what's better. So, good luck with your farming, guys. Una out.